Freak Nation, we couldn't put the period or the exclamation point at the end of a race weekend at Worldwide Technology Raceway without the President General Manager, Chris Blair, joining us here in the Freak Nation. And Chris, we had on earlier in the show, Kyle, don't call me Kirkwood, and I asked him specifically about the explosions on the backstretch. Yeah. And he said, thank goodness I can't remember what he actually called it, but his helmet shield would tint when the sun would hit it. Yeah. When the explosions, the fireballs hit his helmet shield, it went dark for a split second. So some of these guys are getting a little too prepared for what you plan with the backstretch explosions.
Well, that's one of the things in the driver meeting on, I believe it's Saturday morning. Kyle Novak, the series race director, he said, be prepared. It's going to be bigger than they've ever done this because of the prime time slot. And if you have sunglasses, put them on. Be prepared for this to happen. And so that's, I think we met or exceeded Kyle's expectations on that one.
Well, you talk about meeting and excelling expectations. Could you have expected what you got? You go through the litany of line items that happened before, during, and after this race.
Yeah.
Could you have predicted that this was going to happen the way the moons aligned to bring so much use another expletive, well, another representation of explosions, this explosive of viewership, fan reaction, driver reaction to this race?
Well, you know, what amazed me is we can only do so much. Our team and the racetrack, we can basically get everybody all ready and excited, but it really boils down to what is the actual product on the track when the green flag drops. And you got to give it to IndyCar and the drivers. That was one of the most incredible races. I was watching it in our green room area above the media center. I couldn't sit down. I was jumping up and down watching the racing. I was trading some text earlier today with Connor Daly after I watched the race, and I'm just thanking him for making it such a great show and the moves he made running on the outside. Like I said, it was almost like a sprint car race, and that they were on it the whole time, the intensity. It's like you would think this was a 30-lap race down the road at Peevely. The way they were going at it and the beating and the banging, it was everything that could have aligned. So we did our part of getting everybody pumped up, but the drivers really delivered, but with one of the greatest performances I've ever seen on a racetrack. And then seeing the results, knowing that we doubled our television viewing audience, we're seeing that there's a tremendous increase in the number of viewers. I think we were up 88% for viewers under the age of 34. There were just so many things that, plus we had a really good looking crowd up there in that grandstand too. So it was our biggest crowd since 2019, so before COVID. And it's one of those, a friend of mine said, you know, this should be it. You need to quit. You need to just get out the door because it's never going to get any better than that. So still to be determined here what's going to happen.
That is not true. That friend of yours needs to realize who he's talking to. He's talking to Chris Blair, who knows that anything can get better at any moment's notice. Moving forward is what you do, and you move forward and get better. So where are we now? I know it's so early to talk about next year already, but have the discussions begun in that this race, your track, WWT Raceway, needs to be at night from this point moving forward?
I think if anybody tried to take it away from being a night race, there would probably be like, you know, people with the flaming torches going and invading Doug Bowles' office. I mean, I think that's what we would probably see happen at this point, because we've always wanted the night race. You know, ideal situation, we would be Saturday night, 8 o'clock. That would be what we're looking for. This opportunity to go Sunday night, totally outside the box, which for us, we are not your normal racetrack. That's what Worldwide Technology Raceway is known for. Hey, we'll take Sunday night. We'll take a Wednesday night if the right slot is out there and we think it can work. You know, I think we're going to see some great stuff happening. We've started some conversations, and we kind of know where we want to be. And I think everybody agrees with us now on where it needs to be.
All right, Chris, can you maybe help us with the arguments that are going on social media. Of course, they happen after every post race, but part of the media seems to be happy with the $1 million TV viewership. Other parts of the media says, no, this is not a win. Where do you stand? Yes, there's an increase over last year, but last year was a cable network, or a different time slot, I should say, versus this year. I see the biggest win in that younger demographic that you alluded to just earlier, but overall, time slot, nighttime, everything included, where do you stand on that number?
I'm very happy with it because we doubled. People didn't really know what we had, and it's not something people are used to. I guarantee you, after this race, and people see the highlights, or those folks that did tune in just by accident, as they like to say happens. I think the next time, whoever decides to step up and take the Sunday 8 o'clock time slot in the future is going to benefit from what we were willing to put it out there and take the risk. And I'm very excited about it. I think it's a win. It's better than what they've had in the past. And this is a growing process. You're not going to quadruple numbers overnight, but we doubled numbers overnight. And that's a win. My sponsor's happy. From what I'm hearing from the folks at Penske, they're happy, but Fox is happy. It's a start. We've made a tremendous step forward. And this could end up being one of those moments that's, what I say, a watershed moment for the history of IndyCar. This could be a step moving forward. And I'm just glad we had something to do with that.
Chris, I got to ask, this was my first time covering IndyCar race, and I got to tip my cap to you and the entire staff at Worldwide Technology Raceway. So accommodating, so welcoming. Just an incredible event overall. I'm curious to hear from your perspective. What did you take the most pride in this weekend? What did you see as the biggest success? Because, you talk about the fanfare, the explosions, everything, just such an incredible event, an incredible weekend overall. What can you sit back and just really appreciate about what went right that weekend?
Well, we did have some weather challenges on Saturday. That affected us a little bit. What I was most proud of is that the team that we've put together, which is all race fans. Everybody that works here is a race fan. They love the sport. They put in the long hours because they love the product, and they take pride in what we do. They rebounded from that setback that we had to encounter on Saturday, and they came into Sunday with lots of energy. Everybody working great as a team. For me, I started realizing, and we had a magical day going sometime there on the midway, somewhere between Sponge and Soul Asylum, at the buzz that was going around, and the driver autograph session. They had the driver autograph session going on at the same time as the Sponge concert, and the line was incredible. There was people from all over. We had some fans from Alaska that were here meeting drivers that they'd never been to an IndyCar race before. They come here for this race. That was when I started realizing we had something special at that point, and seeing so many first timers. And that was one of the interesting facts. I don't know if I've shared that with you before, but going into this race, more than 50% of our ticket buyers were new ticket buyers for Worldwide Technology Raceway, and a lot of them were new ticket buyers for IndyCar. So that alone is saying that the Fox effect is working. The promotional efforts that we're seeing on the TV ads that they're running to promote the series, the Indianapolis 500, we saw a big uptick after that. So we've got a wave going, and we're getting new people into the sport, and that's all we've ever really wanted. And we could feel that going into Sunday. And then once the pomp and circumstance and all that started, and we got to blow some stuff up, then it was really a great day. That's when I really loved it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Speaking on that autograph session, me and Crash were out there documenting that was so cool, seeing basically fans stretched out double wide throughout the entire front stretch. I'd love to know more about just the overall reception from the series, the fans, even the personnel. What was the reception like for this event as a whole?
Well, as you guys know, me dealing with a sanctioning body is usually pretty interesting when they roll into our place. It's not always good. I think they felt sorry for me a little bit because we took on this risk of the Sunday night race, so they were kind of patient. So we were really able to jam some stuff down their throats, but so they didn't mess with me nearly as much as they normally do. They didn't say no as much, and so we got to have a lot of fun on that. And there was everybody was excited about this: drivers, the officials, the folks from Penske, Doug, everybody. They knew we had something special going with this Sunday night race. Pam Miller from Fox, with what she was trying to do and help us, and how we presented the Speedway, The fun we were having with the arch moving around in that broadcast. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yes.
But it's like the seriousness that you usually see. It kind of adopted the silliness that is me and my crew and the fun that we have. You know, we're the Department of Fun here at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
DOF.
The event was all about having fun. Fun is good. That's what we focus on, and we got to have a really fun time. And that was from officials, tech guys, everybody had a fun time, and that's what it's all about.
Part of fun is being real and genuine. I'm asking you this for a reason. Could profanity be a little bit of fun? Where do you stand on this whole Nolan Siegel radio tirade that he has, since he and the team have issued apologies for?
Well, here's what I look at. It's in the heat of battle. And there, at one point, Saturday evening, I had a profanity laced tirade with one of my guys over some stuff. I was later apologized. But hey, it's the heat of battle, and especially if you're having communication on radio, what does it matter? I mean, that is their line of communication. And if you're out there busting your butt in a race car doing over 200 miles an hour, this whole thing of issuing apologies and fines and all that stuff, it's ridiculous. Let's race. This is real. Let's keep it real.
Chris Blair joining us here in the Freak Nation, the face of Worldwide Technology Raceway here with the Freaks. We've touched on so many things. Before you get the hell out of here, one other thing I want to touch on, building up what Crash was talking about, how there's still such a miss when it comes to the personalities in IndyCar. And you and I are cut from the same cloth, at least from that manner, where it's about building these personalities. From a track promoter standpoint, who's held a hell of a race this past weekend, how do we get more of these personalities out there in front of the folks with the help of people like Chris Blair?
Well, I think a big part of this is we just need to get everybody to start adopting the mindset. And I think it was Alan Bestwick. I had a conversation with him recently. He made the comment. He said, one of the problems that with a lot of racing series is they listen to the driver owner lot and they listen to the suites, but they don't listen to the grandstands. And I've got to start thinking about it. That's been always our philosophy. I try to ignore the driver owner lot and the suite holders and what they want to say. And I listen to the fans in the stands because I am a fan who sits in the stands and gets dirt in my beer at a dirt race. That's who we need to be thinking about. And those people want the drivers to be real. They don't want them to be fit in a box, this corporate thing. If we get those personalities out there, I mean, hell, Connor Daly, he's extremely entertaining. Pato O'Ward. All those guys, be real. Let's not worry about being this poster child for perfection, and just be yourself. And I think if we can do that, more people are going to pick up on them, and they're going to develop their own legion of fans. That's one of the things we really need to be looking at.
Another thing that Cole and myself were told in your media center this weekend was the uptick of the younger demographic in women, or maybe shall I say girls, 15 to 25. It's skyrocketing because of the names Nolan Siegel, Pato O'Ward, and the third is escaping me. But they've become teen heartthrobs. Somehow the series needs to capture that and really make that go big on social or somewhere.
Well, I'm far not an expert on good-looking guys, so I don't know if I could really give you a bunch on that one. But you see some of it, and the fun with Pato and his crew, and the stuff you're seeing in some of those promotional commercials they're doing. It's they're developing. They've got potential to be sex symbols and poster children and all that good stuff. So we can see what can happen. So.
Sex symbols coming
Nolan Siegel, the profanity sex symbol.
But I tell you, hey, one thing before I go, one thing I want to touch on is, and Kenny, this is one of the reasons I was trading some texts with you earlier in the week. This whole thing about why do we do what we do? I've had people ask, why do you do this parade lap, the 3 abreast parade lap? I heard somebody, that's stupid that they do it. That's Indy's thing. We do that to pay tribute to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, because when I was a 9-year-old kid watching Rick Mears, who was my hero, and you'd watch the start of that race and you'd see 3 abreast, that meant IndyCar racing for me. So when we get that first opportunity to have the big show, I wanted to pay tribute to what got me excited and got me into this. For me, when I see cars 3 abreast on my racetrack, it takes me back to being that kid. And so that's one. The other part of this is the whole pyro thing. I had a couple of notes. I had one that said I was insensitive because of all the turmoil in the world and the bombing.
Oh,
We're
goodness.
setting off fireworks on the backstretch. That's like people complaining about it. It's like somebody who goes to a Kiss concert and complains that they can't hear Paul's vocals. We're trying to like blow some stuff up and do something spectacular and get them excited. And that's something that Charlie Mancuso taught me when I was working Supercross back in '96. We would shoot off a 20-minute fireworks show in 3 minutes because we wanted to get everybody pumped for the product. And that got the sizzle going before you give them the steak. And that's what we're here for. We want to make this like going to a rock show and keep people thrilled. And I just want to clear the air on that. If you know what, if you like having a good time, if you like loud rock music, if you don't like pyro, please stay home. Come to the races if you want to have a good time, because we're going to give you one. And maybe that's what we need to be. We need to be different. And let's blow some stuff up.
I love that.
Yeah, where are those people going to be on July 4th? I mean, clearly they're boring.
Exactly.
Well, and I also said this last weekend, and I don't expect you to fill the shoes. You're creating your own footprint, Chris Blair. I was talking about filling the shoes of Eddie Gossage and what he did, Bruton Smith, and all of that madness. I mean, you actually, again, with your tenure in the business, you learn from those guys as well. But what you're doing, you're setting it up for other individuals to follow, and I think that's one reason why we appreciate you and the track so much.
I worked for the greatest promoter in the history of motorsports, and his name was Charlie Mancuso.
Yep.
So he promoted monster trucks. He promoted Supercross when no one else wanted it, and he made it work. He built the industry, and that's who I was trading texts with Sunday night after we blew some stuff up. So every day I go to work, I try to beat Charlie, because one time I didn't do a good job shooting off pyro at the '96 Supercross, and he walked into the office that day, pulled out a pack of matches and lit it and threw it in the air, and he said, "You could have got the same thing for the money that you wasted in Minneapolis." And so I've always tried to beat Charlie every day since 1996, and I think we did a pretty good job of meeting his expectations on Sunday night here in St. Louis.
Okay, well, what did he say to you?
Oh, he just sent me all emojis of thumbs up. So Charlie, that's good. So
Nice.
I'm pleased with that.